Welcome once again to this transmission of Yang Woman. I've got my phone precariously balanced on a bush, so I just hope it doesn't fall out in this live transmission. But it's such a glorious day, so I wanted you to see how amazing the weather is. Oh my God, and I just want to just take a moment, wherever you are actually in this moment, if you're having a really nice day or whatever you're doing, if you just got up, if you're in the States or if it's night time, just take some of this wonderful UK sunshine in. It is gorgeous. So let's take a moment to get present together. I'm a couple of minutes late. I apologise for that. I was rushing around because, you know, we've always got loads of things to do. And I'm going to turn my face to the sun as we take 3 nice big deep breaths together. Just allow your energy to become a little more still. Listen to your heart, listen to the breath coming in and out of the nose. Just those simple things. Isn't that totally great? Let me just turn my volume up a little bit just to make sure that you can hear me okay. I don't know whether that makes a difference, but anyway. So, Yang Women, and probably the most juiciest challenge of all, really, out of all of them, has got to be Yang Women and her men or her partners. So we've talked about the challenges of Yang Women in the last 6 days. This is the last of the challenges, and just to recap, and do go and have a look at the last few days' videos. This is the 8th video so far, and we've talked about some of the challenges from being an immensely busy, directive, orchestrative person and filling our days with loads of stuff, to the dilemmas of what happens when your body ages and you start to become over 40 and you're looking at lots of things happening that might not have happened perhaps when you were in your 20s and 30s. We talked about the authenticity and maybe the inauthenticity of being quite yang as opposed to the balance of yin and yang. And we talked yesterday about loneliness, because it can be lonely when you're in a very directive place in life. And we've talked about being a control freak and the inner critic, because it can be quite a scary place to be. We create reliance and actually building on that control freaking and how we like to direct our lives. I'd love to know how you feel about the partners that are in your lives right now if you are a Yang woman. So please do ask me questions during this live transmission or even afterwards, and I'll be definitely willing to answer questions with you. So I had to write some of the things down on a piece of paper because I really wanted to get all the points in here today. So I'm going to take a little bit longer of your time to describe from a personal perspective what it's like being a Yang woman, attracting partners, and in my case, because I'm, you know, a man, woman, girl, throughout my corporate career, I remember one of my male friends saying to me, well, you know, G, you are actually quite predatory. And I was thinking, God, me, a predator? And whilst I had this whole idea that actually that sleek Black Panther stalking in the night, I felt slightly offended and hurt, and I felt injured inside, thinking, oh my God, is that me? I didn't really want that to be me, but he, as a man, was telling me how he felt. So I attracted 2 types of men, and more latterly in my life, 2 examples of yin and yang. And so being a yang woman, I did have a relationship, quite a serious relationship, with a guy who was very yang. And so he was very driven, you know, same as me, and we had a great sexual relationship because it was a real kind of sparky relationship, and I loved his masculinity on that level. That really worked for me. But in areas where I was really control freaking, he was doing the same, because he really wanted to do this leading stuff that I really wanted deep down, but I wasn't prepared to let him. So there was a massive power struggle, and we used to have lots of arguments, and there was lots of volatility, and I used to think, oh my God. But in many ways, when I look back on that relationship, I think to myself, if I'd embodied a bit more yin and actually allowed this directivity to take place in this guy, then actually maybe it would have worked a little bit better. I don't know. But yang women do tend to, in varying degrees, attract yin men. And I'm not talking about feminine men. I'm talking about men who are perhaps really happy to allow the directivity to come from you. And one of my very significant, in fact, two significant relationships in my life, I would say that my men were more yin than me, in areas that actually I find fundamentally important, which is intimacy and money. And maybe both are related, but I'm, you know, women, as yang women, we attract that masculine energy. We have it running through us very strongly. So out there are guys going, oh, I want that. That's what I want to complete me. So I don't have to do that bit because she's already doing it. And that is an interesting interplay of energy, because ultimately, if we're embodying more of the yang, of course more yin will turn up. You don't necessarily attract the same as you're giving out anyway, and this is what I find in intimate relationships. So for me, where it was severely affected, because inside I think my huge drive is to be the receptive female and to sit back a bit and let my man do the driving and the leading, etc. And yet I couldn't actually step down from where I was, so it really affected intimacy for me. And actually, if I'm playing the masculine role in my intimate relationship, that wasn't sexy. That actually made me feel like I was in bed with another woman. That doesn't work for me. And also with money, and I think that a man, for me, who shows that he's really into what he's doing and he's making and creating something of his life, that feels very masculine. It's like a primal call, hunter-gatherer, nurturer, nest builder. That's just how it is for me. So both my relationships, one presented me with one challenge and one presented me with other challenges, and I just wanted to really bring your awareness to who you are attracting. So it's like, you know, what do you want in your life? If you're a yang woman and you're happy playing that role and your man does other things that bring the more yin elements in, and it works for you, then absolutely fantastic and perfect. But what are you attracting? You know, think about it and think that the energy that you're giving off, you're attracting the opposite, maybe, and that's just the way it is, because really this whole universe is about energy. And I don't believe like attracts like. I think that there's a polarity shift. So the more yang you are, the more yin the man is. The more yin you are with little less yang, you will get that balance when it comes to your partner. And Stephanie's asking, as yang women, are we doomed to always attract yin men? No. First of all, you have to bring awareness to who you're with. You know, common things for a yang woman with a yin man is to say, why doesn't he just grow a pair? Why doesn't he man up? But if you think about it from an energetic perspective, we are the men. We have got the balls. So why do you need two lots in a relationship? Why do you need two people manning up? Because we're doing that. I think the whole idea is this shift from understanding that if this is what really is coming through us, and I know it is for me because it's happening right now in my menopause and beyond, I'm becoming more yin, and I'm really thinking, God, I want this shift to happen. You know, for me personally, I want to attract the authentic masculine energy. And being on this new spiritual course for a couple of years is amazing, because we have been talking about authentic masculine and the authentic feminine. The authentic feminine is receptive. The authentic masculine is the nobility, the chivalry, and also the protection. You know, those aspects just went through me thinking, God, that's what I really want. So, but I think if we want to attract the authentic masculine, we need to step into our authentic feminine, so that is more receptive. I mean, if I can be bold and blatant and talk about sexuality for one moment, you know, we have the vagina, and our men have the penis, you know. We have the receptive channel, they have the directive channel, and maybe from a physical perspective, that's just the way it is, you know. I think, yep, that works for me. So I've been out with both types of men. The yin type of men don't work for me. Might work for you, but it's a personal choice. It's about bringing awareness to what's happening. Don't criticize your partner before you've looked at your own energy and before you look at what you're attracting. I mean, it sounds obvious in the self-growth industry. You always say, well, what are you giving out because you're getting that back? Well, it is right. It's exactly right. But yin men don't work for me. You know, now I'm becoming much more yin by default in a way. For me, it works that a man who embodies this directive energy, and that, yeah, I would love a provider, you know, I'm going to put out for that next, because I would love that. I just want to lean into him, be his woman, be receptive, there are so many amazing things. I can't tell you how juicy that feels for the future. So yes, there are things that affect us, and if we're being inauthentic in our masculinity as yang women, you're going to find a man who is inauthentic in his feminine energy, and there's a polar shift that needs to happen. And in my last relationship, there was a struggle. Who's going to do it first? Are you going to step in? No, you're going to step in. And I see now where that could have changed. However, I was very unwilling, because I think I've led a life of being yang, and I'm looking for a man who can just step into his authentic masculine. I'm sorry to say, that's just the way it is. It feels better that way round. I don't know. I'm not sure, you know, in some ways. But I have been in therapy in the last 3 or 4 months, and the guy who's running my therapy sessions is in his authentic masculine energy. And my goodness, the minute I'm in the room with him, my energy shifts and I can relax. I can become receptive. I haven't got a drive, and it is incredible. It can shift in a minute when you're with the right person. So what I don't want you to do is run to your partner and tell them all the things that they're not doing. Please don't do that, because the relationship journey is a very big one. And I've been a relationship coach, and I've got friends who are relationship coaches, and it's a much bigger subject than just, okay, I'm, you know, going to tell you I'm going to be yin, you be yang, and that's all fine and dandy, because it doesn't work like that. But what I really want to focus on is, you know, if we're embodying this yang energy, then we are going to get either a guy who's very yang and he's just going to come and wrestle you to the ground, and fantastic, that sounds amazing to me. But there will be a power struggle if you haven't recognized where you need to step down a little bit, or step into this authentic feminine energy, which I'll talk a bit more about. And if he's very yin, then maybe you step into your yin and see what happens. You know, I have a friend who's doing that at the moment, just testing the ground with her partner. And do feedback to me, because I find this subject so interesting. I really do. It's incredible. It's important. And my course tutor at the moment, a guy called Andrew Wallace, who happens to be my latest hero, and I was talking to you about authentic masculine. He feels that the authentic feminine is going to lead us out of this polar shift and this dynamic that we have created. You know, we was talking the other day about the patriarchal energy. Maybe it's coming through us women, and we need to do something about that. And just rather than just go, well, all men need to man up and just get in that place. Well, we need to embody this balance, and the yin and yang. The separation between the yin and yang symbol is fluid and always moving, so we do need to take responsibility for our own thing. Anyway, big subject, please comment if you want to. It's close to my heart. My relationship dilemmas have been massive, and I've learned so much, and this is a very interesting subject. So over the next 7 days, I'm going to be talking about some of the desires of a yang woman, and I will come and touch back on this relationship issue and subject because it is very exciting and interesting. So if you haven't watched the video so far, go have a look, go check out Yang Woman on my website, Gina Hardy Yoga, and enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, this is just so amazing, you know, being in the light. I love it. And we will get to speak again soon. Namaste. I honour you, salute you. Wherever you are, it's fine and it's okay to be who you are right now, right here. Nothing to change, nothing to do, just be. I love you.